I never imagined that a single afternoon could shift everything I thought I understood about myself, about connection, about longing. But sometimes, change doesn't come with words. Sometimes, it arrives in a glance. Quiet. Unshakable. It was late when I arrived at Grandpa's house, the sun hanging low behind the trees. The old place smelled the way I remembered books left too long on the shelf, worn leather, and that faint trace of aftershave that always seemed to follow him. He had asked for help going through a few boxes in the attic, just some old letters, photos, things he hadn't touched in years. I expected dust, cobwebs, maybe the dull ache of nostalgia. I didn't expect him. The way he was standing by the window when I walked in, still, thoughtful. When he turned to look at me, he didn't smile the way he usually did. Not the big grin, not the usual warmth. This one was smaller, quieter. Like he'd already been thinking about something he wasn't ready to say. "You look like someone who's been running," he said. His voice was low, steady. I laughed, more to shake the moment loose than because it was funny. Maybe for myself, I joked. But he didn't laugh back. He just watched me, too long, too still. Like he'd heard something in my words I hadn't meant to say. Upstairs, the attic was hot and close. We moved through the boxes slowly. Our hands brushed more than once, reaching for the same photo, the same letter. I told myself it was nothing, just proximity, just shadows. But every time I looked at him, I noticed things. The way his shirt clung slightly from the heat. The quiet strength in his movements. The calm in his eyes. I wasn't used to being seen like that, fully, without judgment. And I wasn't used to returning it. At one point, I leaned to lift a heavy box and his hand touched the small of my back. Just to steady me. Just a reflex. But it lingered in my skin like a spark. "You've grown into something remarkable," he said. He didn't look at me when he said it. I didn't answer. I didn't know how. The words landed between us like something sacred and fragile. I sank back onto my heels and looked at him. Really looked. And that's when I saw it, not desire, not lust. Something quieter. A kind of longing. A mirrored ache. Something in him that reflected something in me I hadn't realized I was carrying too. We didn't speak for a while after that. The sun sank, casting long streaks of light across the attic floor. The silence between us wasn't uncomfortable, it was delicate. Held carefully. A thread stretched tight. It wasn't wrong. But it wasn't innocent. When we finally came down from the attic, the silence followed. He poured us each a glass of water in the kitchen and sat across from me at the table. I held my glass too tightly, unsure of what to do with my hands. Unsure of what any of this was. "Sometimes," he said finally, voice soft, "we find ourselves seen in the places we least expect. And once we've been seen, it's hard to pretend otherwise." I looked at him, and it was like looking at a stranger and someone I'd known my whole life all at once. Not the man who taught me to ride a bike. Not the one who told bedtime stories. This was someone else. Familiar, but not safe. Someone whose loneliness matched mine. "I don't know what this is," I whispered. "Neither do I," he said. "But I feel it. And I think you do too." I said nothing. Saying yes might shatter something sacred. Saying no might leave something beautiful untouched. The fridge hummed. The wall clock ticked. The quiet roared. Our fingers brushed as we both reached for our glasses. And neither of us pulled away. That small touch, deliberate and soft, unlocked something I hadn't realized I'd locked away. He didn't move closer. He didn't press. He just looked at me steady, unblinking, as if to say, "I see you. All of you." "I'm not asking for anything," he said, gaze still holding mine. "I just needed you to know, you're not invisible." That hit harder than anything else. In that house filled with history, I felt something break open inside me. Not in a way that hurt. In a way that let light in. When I stood to leave, I paused. He reached out, not a grab, not a plea. Just an open hand. I let my fingers rest against his. For a moment. Long enough. Outside, the evening air was heavier than when I arrived. Thick with everything we hadn't said. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Because some moments don't end when you walk away. They stay. Quietly. Utterly. Forever.